The United States has officially descended from Ronald Reagan's shiny city upon a hill to a banana republic on par with Cuba, Venezuela, or the former Soviet Union. Elected officials from both parties have no interest in slowing America's decline, and most often seem to be cheering it on. Just this week, any semblance of fairness, justice, equal protection under the law, and a host of other principles which allowed America to thrive for almost 250 years were thrown out the window. America's demise didn't begin this week and can be traced all the way back to the days of FDR and then the liberal big government explosion of the 1960s. There were several checks and balances along the way, of course, tapping on the brakes of America's hurtling towards the abyss, specifically President Ronald Reagan and then Donald Trump. Other Republican presidents merely took the foot off the accelerator, allowing America to coast closer to calamity, while Democrat presidents floored the gas pedal, speeding up the decline. And then the Biden administration, not content with pedal-to-the-metal acceleration, added a supercharger to the engine and filled the tank with high-octane gas, turning a fast car into a race car essentially. This past week illustrated the precarious state of America as a beacon of freedom and liberty. Start with the indictment of President Donald Trump. A Manhattan district attorney turned a misdemeanor, long past the statute of limitations, into a federal crime, which his Manhattan DA predecessor, a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, the former New York Attorney General, and the Federal Election Commission deemed to not be a crime and declined to prosecute. Principal players including Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen, in written statements, made clear that even the misdemeanor didn't happen. Yet here we are, with the Democrat Party and its weaponized justice system, choosing to indict their political opponent, who will be the likely Republican presidential candidate next year. This does not and never has happened in America. The government in power using such might to destroy their political opponents. Yet here we are. This very same week, independent journalist Matt Taibbi was visited by the IRS. Taibbi had the gall to publish some of the Twitter files documenting collusion between U.S. federal three-letter agencies, including the FBI, CIA, DOJ, DHS, CDC, and FDA, and big tech behemoths, in order to control the free flow of news and information, censoring anyone they disagreed with, in flagrant violation of the First Amendment, of course. The same day Taibbi was testifying before Congress about his investigations, the IRS came to his New Jersey home, unannounced, to inform him of upcoming investigations into his taxes. Quite the coincidence of timing. Remember Lois Lerner of the IRS, harassing conservative groups and leaking sensitive information to the media? Despite some limited huffing and puffing from Republicans in Congress, there has never been reckoning or even accountability. This is but one of many examples of a weaponized executive branch of government, targeting political opponents well outside the intentions and words of our founding fathers. Once the IRS got away with targeting political opponents without any consequences, what happened next is what always happens in banana republics. The FBI said, "Hold my beer," and went after candidate and then President Donald Trump, knowingly using Clinton campaign paid-for fabricated opposition research to obtain FISA warrants to spy on Trump and his associates, and of course his entire administration. They parlayed the investigation into a years-long special counsel witch hunt into every aspect of Donald Trump's life, without justification, hamstringing his presidency. Why, you might ask? Well, because he, the Donald, was working for you, unlike pretty much every other douchebag in that hellhole we call Washington, D.C. Yet after years of microscopic examination into every aspect of Trump's life, all they could come up with was some supposed hush money payment to a porn actress. Trump has got to be the cleanest human being on the planet, and I mean that. The same agencies turned a blind eye to the Biden crime family, including Hunter's laptop, applying a very selective form of justice. This, of course, led to two nonsensical impeachments unprecedented, and for which once decent politicians, journalists, and other thought leaders either turned a blind eye or cheered along like a gaggle of clapping seals. And then there was the bat stew, a bad flu virus weaponized by the government health authorities to shut down the economy and entire country, impose draconian mandates and restrictions based not on the facts, but on political expedience. This, of course, once again, was met with no reckoning or accountability whatsoever. Then, when we the people exercised our First Amendment right to peacefully assemble, they were entrapped and unjustly prosecuted without due process or any sense of fairness, again, to cripple the outgoing president and hamper any attempt for him to run for election in 2024. Now, when that failed, then came Trump's indictment, based on fairy dust law that even liberal legal scholars have decried. And it's not only Trump facing legal lawfare, but also his associates. Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, and Mike Lindell's cell phones were seized by the DOJ. Roger Stone and Peter Navarro were arrested. Trump's Mar-a-Lago home was then raided by the FBI, who rifled through Melania's underwear. Oh, how professional. The same FBI apparently has yet to look at Hunter Biden, or for that matter, even Anthony Weiner's laptop. In all of this, where are the Republicans? Or even a few principled Democrats, if that even exists anymore? If a fraction of these travesties were visited on former President Barack Obama, Democrats would be screeching like banshees right now. They'd be holding press conferences, circling the wagons with sharpened fangs defending their party leader. Most Republicans remain silent once again. And hopefully, Trump is taking names this time around. Basically, our ruling class has made a conscious decision to spend money that we don't have, provoking needless wars, opening our borders, condoning and encouraging crime, destroying the economy along with the hopes and dreams of millions of Americans, all in an attempt to transform America into some multicultural uber-woke hellhole, reminiscent of the Hunger Games. So where does that leave America? In 2023, the formerly Judeo-Christian nation has walked away from her moral roots, acknowledging our God-given rights and privileges in favor of selfish and evil ideologies, destroying children, families, and the will of the American people. We have a weaponized government where those in power make the rules to suit their whims and political needs, destroying all who stand in their way. Several hundred years ago, our ancestors fought to rid themselves of a king, and here we are, with a ruling class filled with kings. America has fought wars against totalitarian regimes of Hitler and Stalin. Yet ironically, our government is emulating many of their dictatorial attributes. I'm sad for my children and grandchildren right now. They will be the first generation that will most likely have fewer opportunities and a less prosperous life than their parents had. They say empires last no more than 250 years, and America's 250-year anniversary is in 3 short years. What will be left in 3 years? Will we be in World War III against Russia or China or Iran or all of them, with a ruined economy and hyperinflation, living in a police state ruled by tyrants willing to use whatever means necessary to stomp out any opposition or resistance? Where the hell are our American leaders, men and women of principle and conscience? Will it be left to mob rule or civil war to change course? I don't know, but I really feel like we're being welcomed to the Banana Republic of America. Most of this came by way of the American Thinker. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.